Hello, I'm Brother Davl Brewton, and I was healed from grief. On September 13th of 2022, I lost my grandfather to cancer. And that day that I lost him, I felt, well, as a family, we felt as if we lost our Superman of the family. You know, my grandfather taught us how to hunt, taught us how to fish, basically taught us how to live that country life and how to survive. So losing my grandfather the day that I saw him being lowered into the ground, I felt like a piece of me was going with him. And that piece was kind of like the joy, you know, of experiencing being in the country life. Later on down the road, the next year, while I was being a drill sergeant, of course, on October 13th, of 2023, I had just graduated one of my cycles, and I posted it on Instagram how I graduated the cycle, you know, and took pictures. And my dad, my biological dad, had texted me and was telling me how proud he was of me and etc. And, you know, calling me his baby boy, his drill sergeant, you know. And as I was packing, getting ready to come here to Texas on vacation, 2 hours later, I got a phone call from my brother telling me that our dad just had a tragic death. And in an instance, now I just lost two of my man figures in my life, two of my heroes in my life. And throughout that whole process, you know, it was really a real bad struggle for me, struggle for my family, struggle for each and every one of us, because we just couldn't believe that we just lost our the senior of the family and the junior of the family, both within a year apart from each other. So I'll never forget it, you know, going home and, you know, actually going to the house, going to my family house and seeing the tree sitting up against the house or whatever that killed my father. And I literally would just go to that tree and just sit there and just, you know, process and try to think, like, what happened? Like, how did this happen to my father? How did this happen? How, you know, and I began to question God, like, why did this happen to him? Why would you take my father a year after my grandfather died, you know? So it was a real rough thing. It was a real rough process, going through the whole thing. Grief was wearing me down bad to the point where suicidal thoughts started happening towards me. You know, grief was holding me very like a hostage. Grief was really holding me as a hostage. And to the point where the thoughts just began to get stronger and stronger, to the point where I was just like, I just want to just die and just be with my dad and my grandfather. I want to be, you know, I want that that hunting experience back. I want to be able to, you know, experience being connected with them, being around them again. And it was really like really bad. But I'll never forget, you know, the days I was going through a lot. I would call Pastor Philip, you know, and he would pray. He would speak encouragement to me. He would, you know, continue to tell me to keep pushing, because they're still with me, you know, and whatever they taught me that I can, you know, teach my kids or teach, you know, other kids, or, you know, whatever the case may be. So, Christmas, I never forget it. Christmas that year, we all, you know, went home to spend time with our mom, you know, so she'd have that presence with all her kids. And my mom gave all of the boys, she gave us one of our dead rings, and then she gave all the daughters, both of the daughters, you know, one of his necklaces. And then she created a gift box that had a custom-made pillow and with one of his shirts wrapped around it, and, you know, one of his scents, his cologne. And so I never forget it. I would wear that ring every day. When I went back to work to be a drill sergeant, I was wearing that ring every day. People would ask me, who is it? What's that ring on your finger, drill sergeant? This, and I would tell them, like, that's my dad's ring. You know, I just lost my father and stuff. And it was very hard for me trying to be a leader and trying to, you know, motivate soldiers when I wasn't even motivated myself. I was, you know, going through this grieving. The grieving was like really strong on me. And I remember coming to Texas, and Deaconess Loretta had told me she wanted me to record a video, the mime video of me with the grieving process. And I remember the day that I was out there with Minister Daniel and we was recording the video, and it was wearing me down bad that I'm actually recording the video, going through this, and I'm actually like really hurting on the inside because I'm actually like seeing myself back at the gravesite, seeing myself back, seeing my dead Lord into the ground, seeing all this, and it was really weighing on me, and even to this day of watching the video, it still like kind of gets me that I actually created this video, so later on down the road, I seen Mom ended up, Dr. April, she ended up preaching one Tuesday night Bible study about coming out of agreement with a lot of things. And that day I started realizing like, man, grief has been holding me hostage for a long time. Grief has really been holding me hostage, and that day I began to think like, what do I need to do in this moment to come out of agreement with this grief? And the first thing that came to my mind was take the ring off, stop wearing the ring. Stop wearing the ring. That's what's holding the hostage. That's what's keeping this grief on me, So ever since that day Mom preached that sermon, I literally stopped wearing the ring. I literally put the ring up in a safe place, and when that day came, it became easier. Every day became easier to cope with the fact that I may not have my biological grandfather here. I may not have my biological father here, but I still do have a spiritual father here. And Dad has done tremendously with, speaking into my life and, helping me get to that, be the man that I am, and continue to be the man that I am. So with me taking the ring off, I instantly started experiencing a healing feeling of me not being held by grief anymore. So with that being said, I can honestly say that I was healed from grieving. So for me, I will say to encourage you that even if you're going through grieving, if grieving is still holding you hostage, if grieving is still a part of your life, whatever it may be, whatever is attached to you that is continuing to having you grieve in those moments, I want to just say to you and want to encourage you that it's okay to come out of agreement with that thing. It's okay to let it go. It's okay to detach from it. Healing is for real.